Welcome everyone to the Break Knyte Creative, and in this video I'm going to show you how I put together this pretty awesome display unit that I made for my Dragon Balls. Let's check it out. Alright, so when I started making this, I got ahead of myself. I didn't even think about recording, even though I knew I wanted to make a video of this. So the overall frame itself is already done, and I did make the bottom part 4 inches in depth and the top part I believe 3 inches in depth, so there was a nice angle to the side of it, so it didn't look completely like a complete straight box. The Dragon Balls will actually be angled upward a little bit. My idea for this came from the fact that I just didn't have a decent way to display the Dragon Balls that I had. They were a Christmas gift from my girlfriend a couple Christmases ago, and I really have only displayed them just laying on material or just put them in place somewhere, and I was never satisfied with how I displayed them. I knew eventually that I was going to have to make a decent display unit for the Dragon Balls, so one day I finally decided to just put it together, and I wanted to use a different type of stain. I've been using a very dark stain, and I decided to go with a gunstock stain, which looks very orange, as you can see here. But sometimes it can look like a very dark red if you just let it settle for a little bit. But me, I just apply it and then immediately take it off. Now the foam I've had laying around for quite a while. I knew I wanted to use it for a display unit like this. I just have never taken the initiative to actually just do it. Since I knew that I had it and what purpose I was going to use it for, I just had to just get it done. I had all the pieces that I needed, I just needed to take the time. So I'm just figuring out, trying to make a grid pattern on the foam. I'm doing a lot more work than I realize I have to, but I wanted it to look even and the balls to be placed in spots, and it just looks nice and flawless instead of just looking like they're all over the place, because I wanted to maintain the 1 ball in the middle, the 3 on the top, and the 3 on the bottom, and it just looks like a unit you'd see in a cartoon or you see in a store. And I thought the diamond pattern was necessary. I've never done this before. It took me a little bit of time and problem solving to figure out that the foam itself, that soft foam, wasn't going to hold the balls in place. I eventually had to use a thicker type of foam, as you'll see. As for the material that I use, I just use a 4-way stretch lycra that I had laying around. Since I make a lot of wrestling gear, I have a lot of stretch materials. And I thought the blue was a great contrast to the orange. Considering Vegeta is my favorite character and he wears a lot of blue, I wanted to go with that royal blue color. And now here you're seeing that I use some thicker craft foam and making the diamond patterns, the matching diamond patterns, to put on top of the other foam. Now this foam itself is what's going to lock the balls in place. And as I'm going, I'm realizing that I need to create more of a void so the balls can kind of feel like they're going to fall in there. It took me a while to realize that the material is actually going to hold the balls in their place and not let them just fall behind the foam. And after I put that front piece of the craft foam, it really started coming out great, and the scrunched up look of the material I really liked. The idea for this kind of came from Jimmy DeResta, who does YouTube channels, a lot of woodworking, and he was making a chess set, and he made a sliding drawer piece for his chess set, and all the custom chess pieces that he made, he pretty much did the exact same thing with the material and the foam and all that, and I loved how that looked, and the scrunched up look of the material on top of the foam. So I wanted to do that with the Dragon Balls. Everything is coming along great, and now it's just a matter of just putting it in. And I'm not gluing this in. This is nice and loose, so even if I wanted to change the material and the look of the color, I can totally do that. As you can see, I'm just cleaning the Dragon Balls, and I could not be happier with how this piece came out. So that is how I put this together. I really dig the stain that I used for this because it made the plain wood look very orange and felt like it complemented it really well with the Dragon Balls being orange balls. And the blue that I went with was pretty much for Vegeta, as Vegeta is one of my favorite characters and he typically wears blue. This is one of the finer pieces that I made. I'm really happy with how this came out. I was obsessed with this as soon as I was done because these have just been sitting in a drawer and I finally have an awesome way to display them, and I feel like this is the proper way as a collector to display Dragon Balls if you have all 7 Dragon Balls. I would love to make this for other people. This is a fun project, especially after doing all the problem solving as far as figuring out how the balls were going to get placed in there and stay nice and locked in there and be able to pull them out and put them right back in. When I take a picture of it with a flash, you can see the nice shine. Right now you can't see how cool it looks, but with the flash and the picture, as you see here, that how awesome it looks when there's a light complementing it. I did not glue this in. I can easily take this out, replace the material if I wanted to. Because of that, I can remove the foam and then maybe put some LED lighting, some really bright LED lighting to really shine and make this look even more awesome. Ends up being like a night light or something. So you can really see the numbers and the stars and just how awesome the balls look instead of it just looking kind of very faint and dark like you see in this video. But because of this, as you can see behind me, I made another case to display my Power Rangers Legacy collection that I have. All of these were gifts. The Blaster was a gift from my friend Johnny Ridlin. The Morpher was a gift for myself for one of my birthdays, and the Communicator was a very surprise gift from my girlfriend that she got for me for one of my birthdays. So I feel, just like with the Dragon Balls, this is the best way to display these, to have this, because this is perfect for a shelf as a backdrop to a collection of action figures related to the items themselves. After making this, I had to make this, and I went with a different stain for this one as a dark walnut, for this one just to use it for something, and then a nice neutral silver so the color there wasn't biased to any specific Ranger. I wanted to be neutral. So yeah, that was my process for making these. These are really awesome display cases. I love how these came out. These are some of my favorite pieces that I've done, other than some of the really big stuff that I've done. And I really thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you have anything to say to me, leave a comment down below. And please subscribe and share the channel. The more eyes on this, the better, because I really want to share this with as many people as possible that dig the things that I'm doing. I also have a podcast, a Break Knyte podcast I do with my buddy Sean Iredale, where we talk about being creative and all the things that inspire us to be creative, and all the projects that I do and that Sean does as he's a comic book artist. We talk about in depth and long form in the podcast, on top of talking about things like movies, TV shows, comic books, toys, collectibles, professional wrestling, all of that. Once again, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying the videos. I know I'm enjoying putting them together and sharing them with all of you, and I hope you return the favor by sharing this with all of your friends. All of you stay creative, and I'll see you next time. Peace, love, and chicken grease. I am out.